his list.
There you go.
Okay, go for it.
Oh, it's recording.
Hello, jurors. You are here for the jury roundtable where we're going to talk about J, Pietro, and X. So let's let's start off with, how do y'all feel overall about the final three as a whole before we go into their individual games? Anyone can start.
I guess literally anyone else in this jury would have gotten my vote over any of them. Just saying.
So do you feel I'm sorry.
Oh, go. No, so, I think obviously they did what we couldn't do. Obviously, we all fought tooth and nail to do what they did. They just fought better, I guess. Some of them.
I don't think that it's necessarily that they fought better. It's just that they didn't need to fight because of the position that they were in, which is valid. Like, I think that whoever wins is going to deserve it, but that doesn't make me happy about it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like at the end of the day, they did what they needed to win. There's not like any non-deserving winner, like what he said.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that I think we can. I think that we can all agree that one of us would have been a better winner.
Yes.
Like, definitely not the best person is winning the season.
Who do you think was the best person, Kyle?
In my opinion, Chris, actually.
Please, child. I can't take it. I can't. Oh, thank you, though.
Well, Chris,
The only person that we can definitively say was robbed is Billy. But I don't think he would have won, so.
Okay, and Billy would have said I was robbed too.
Yeah, I guess you were robbed too, but I think you were less robbed than Billy.
Yeah, I will say that. Billy's boot list is going to Ghost Island now.
So let's go ahead and let's get started with Jay. Jay didn't have to play. He seemed to be never in danger. Had an idol since day 3 and didn't even play it on himself. Do any of you feel like that deserves a consideration for a vote, that he was never in danger, or do you feel like he should have pushed the charge?
I think it's more impressive. Oh, you can go first.
I was just going to say, I think he was never in danger because he's always been a GOAT. He's been a GOAT since day 1. Everyone wanted to sit next to him in the end. He was never in danger. Like, nobody ever threw his name because everyone knew they were going to be able to win.
But I think that it's impressive being able to be seen in that light. Now, whether it was intentional, I don't think so. But I think that at least it is a bit of a pro that he was able to not be seen as a threat and then capitalize on that to the point of not even playing his idol.
Did he even really capitalize on it though? Like,
he's in the final 3.
That he did was play his idol on Chris. That's it.
He played behind someone, Chris, the entire time.
Well, not anymore. Playing behind someone himself.
And then there's no other game to be
played. That's fine. I'm not saying that he played the best game by far, but I'm just saying, that's valid.
I do think it is impressive and valid because if you do go that long without having the target, we was also never in a position where he had to get the target off himself, which I feel like would help a little bit more. Let's say he goes until final 6, final 5 without ever really being a target, then he's about to be voted out at final 6, final 5, and then he maneuvers off of it and gets to the end. I feel like that would have been a lot more impressive because we could have seen both sides, him playing from the visibility and him playing from not invisibility but the opposite. If you catch
he definitely had a much easier road than the other two.
But would you say having an easier road is more impressive, or would you rather see someone take the lot harder way to get to the end?
I think if he made the road himself, it would have been more impressive. I don't think he did anything to
If he what?
If he made that road himself, if he set himself up to be in that position, I think it would be different, but I don't think he set himself up like that. I think it was just kind of how the cards were dealt. Everyone else was playing a lot better, a lot more strategically, and he just kind of got pushed to the back, and everyone thought he'd be the GOAT to take to the end. I think everyone overplaying caused him to be put in that way.
But then why didn't anybody take him out? Because I feel like we all know that we could have beaten him and also the other two. So why didn't we take out Jay? Like, for all of you that
People
were
would
actually
say
in
the
the game.
votes weren't there.
Yeah, and
Like, I
why
feel like
weren't they?
Jay's name,
Why
like,
weren't they?
twice.
Why were the votes not there?
'Cause
Nobody.
people thought they could get there in the final 3 with them, but they couldn't.
Yeah, so if there were enough people who weren't like who were into keeping him around, I feel like that's on y'all, not on him.
But the thing is, I think Jay's the only one that we all thought that we could beat at the end. Like, the other two are not necessarily like great people to win the game.
Wait, you didn't think that you could beat X and Pietro at the end? Like, is there
Honestly,
anybody who
X
thinks
has,
that they?
Honestly, X has that underdog story. And then after what I've heard about Pietro could have had like this great speech that I've never even heard about based on what Jake has said.
I feel like for an underdog story to work, you have to be likable.
Yeah.
Oh, right. And Pietro's pretty likable.
Oh my god. Oh my
Pietro's
god.
likable, yeah.
My thing,
well, so,
my thing about Jay is I feel like the countless tribal days where everyone's scrambling up until the last minute, but Jay's been at work. He didn't have to do all that and kind of maneuver his way around and see what would work. He had someone that made sure it would work for him.
Well, hold on. Someone didn't play the
Jay's been at work. I'm sorry.
He has. If we're voting for someone if we're voting for the best employee, he'd probably still lose to Chris. But we're
Well,
not.
just because someone isn't playing like how many hours in a row does not mean. I mean, it works. He's there, you know. Even if he didn't play as many consecutive hours as you did, you know.
I mean, I agree to that, but I would also say
too.
most of these finalists are on like the same playing field to an extent. Like, I think they're all in the same tier. Maybe there will be like a more.
Yeah.
But I think when we have like these 3 people who I can weigh basically the same, and it'll start teetering towards being, you have to look at the minute details, I'm going to factor in someone who put a lot more time in. And like, at least for me, like, I would have good conversations with Jay. Like, we laugh, like at Tribal, Chris, Jay, and I would laugh and stuff, even if we weren't voting together. It was all good. But like, I would like try to talk game with him, and he would be gone, come back, wouldn't respond to the game thing, but would respond to the normal thing. While people like X and Pietro, even if they were busy for a little bit, they'd immediately come back, play a game with me and stuff.
That is the literal. I mean, that's the exact reverse for people like me. You know. So I think all 3 of them.
People like
didn't
you
have-
are perfect to you, but I don't know if a lot of people share your story with being excluded by these others.
You know, I didn't want to just say myself because I hate talking about myself. But like, I'm saying that like everybody in the final 3 had a moment where some people they were right on the ball with, and some people they were. So I don't think any one of the 3 was clearly like great to talk with everybody. You know. That's
No,
what
I agree to that.
Now,
So-
I will say this. I asked my jury questions early because I won't be able to be at Final Tribal. But I asked what's their most controversial moment or behavior or their biggest weakness in their game and how did it either help or benefit the game overall.
Big question.
And Jake talked about how he had no controversy and no weaknesses in his game.
I mean, name one weakness. The fact that he's beatable at the end. He's against 2 beatable
The
people.
fact that he wasn't really talking that much to
I know
anybody.
you might say that, Kyle.
Chris.
I know you're not talking about not talking to people, Kyle. I know that's what you're not doing.
Oh, Jake, sweetie. Jake, what kind of? Oh God.
I gotta go, yeah. I gotta go.
I have a question for specifically.
What you?
We only have 9 minutes left on this meeting.
Fine.
Okay, I'll make a new one.
Jake said I have to go to bed.
But okay, well, then walk me through the final the final 5 idle play. From a viewer's perspective, it looked like Jay was really taking that move on his own.
Well,
How does, especially you and Chris, in voting Caleb off, how do you view that move from Jay's perspective?
Yeah,
Um,
I would also like to know that, seeing as I wasn't even there to defend myself.
okay, we can get bold. That's fine. Anyways, pretty much what the plan was is that, I mean, it is what it is. Jay had an idol. Everybody knew about it, and they still weren't going to vote for him. They chose someone like me, and what they neglected to realize was that Jay promised me from day 3, ever since he told me that he found the idol, that he was going to play it on me. So, I mean, and that black vote, it wasn't Jay. That was mine. That was the last night for me to use it, and Jay got to cast an extra vote. Thinking that he was going to vote. He voted out Caleb last tribal. He would have done it again, and I was right. So if we want to get mad about it still, I'm sorry you weren't there, Caleb, and I'm sorry you weren't there to defend yourself, but like, I mean, there's nothing else that we can do. It happened.
Mm-hmm.
The thing for me is like, you know, Caleb's the reason I went home for 6. So it's like
The whole fact is, I don't know what Jay was thinking, and honestly, I still want to know, because the whole plan for 6 was actually to take Chris out. We were all going to take Chris out, and then I begged Jay and X to flip.
X didn't want to flip already.
No, X did not want to flip.
On to who, just to be clear?
Jake.
And there goes his chances of getting my vote.
You-
Oh,
It's
you-
easy.
do you
So
think
I don't
that-
know what Jay was thinking, because he originally wanted to take you out, Chris.
I
And
feel
nobody
like
knew that, so.
I don't know if it's true or not, because obviously he saved you the next fight with an idol. So that's like, I'm still confused about it. I don't know if it was true or not,
I think you got
but he
blamed.
wanted you out for
I
5th and
still think Jay voted Chris at the 2 Chris vote round. I
And
still
then
think that's who
swears he
voted
voted
Chris.
Nikita the entire time. Insane.
Also, Nick, I should owe you a genuine apology for that, because I told everybody that I thought my second vote was you.
No, it's okay. You
I
probably
really
were the only
did.
one saying it either. Literally, right after Tribal, I went in my confession. I was like, I'm going to fucking lose it. The one round, I don't vote with my ally. Someone decides to throw a hinky vote, and it's going to go on me. I literally was like, from that moment, I was like, game over. I'm done. And like, I wanted to like tell you, I was like, it wasn't me, but I was like, I can't
know,
say
and
it
you
too
told
much.
me, but I was like, do I believe him? I'm not sure.
I was like, let me just keep it simple. I was like, it wasn't me. Do what you want. 1 second.
Okay, so if nobody here owns up to the second vote, that means it was one of those 3, right?
Or somebody could be lying here.
What did you say, Kyle?
I mean, it's
if nobody's
possible.
owning up to that second Chris vote, then that means one of those 3 had to have
I
voted
mean,
Chris, right?
from
I-
now,
I-
I don't
if
really see
Jay
any reason
did
why
it-
we'd lie here.
from now
Oh,
knowing it's not Nick, it's either Pietro or Jay. So
Mhm.
it makes sense for it to be Jay.
In my opinion, I think if Jay did it, that makes me respect Jay's game a little bit more because I like a good hinky vote, and I think he played it really well.
Why is it called a hinky
Pietro,
vote?
it would make me just be. Why is it called a
Hinky
Yeah,
vote?
hinky
what,
vote?
what does hinky mean?
I thought you said
Oh.
kinky.
It's just
I was like,
like,
okay.
No.
you threw it out.
That's a Big Brother term.
Yeah, I
Sorry,
know, but
hinky vote.
where did that come from?
What do you like? The
Like, what is
term
the origin of the
I
term
really
hinky?
thought you said kinky.
Hinky vote. No, a hinky. I don't know what the origin is. It's just what I've always heard it's called. I call it like hinky because it's like it's not meant to be that vote. Like
What is
you
a
know, this
hinky
person's
vote?
going.
I mean, I thought you were saying pinky and like how the pinky's like the 5th finger, so it's like the extra.
You wanna
vote.
cut
That's
off
what I
your
thought
pink-
you were saying. You're saying
Say rogue.
Hinky with an H.
Oh.
So for
Hinky means dishonest
Yeah.
or suspect.
So
There-
for the Caleb vote with the idol, do you think that it hurts Jay's move that Chris just went the next
Yes.
round?
Yes.
We have
I-
some disagreement here.
Did Jay vote
Yes.
Chris out?
Everybody.
I'm bored with it. Maybe it
Why
was
would
just
he-
like I
It's like
just
he
need
made.
one vote and then sorry, I'm speaking over you.
So let's.
Yeah.
I don't want to speak over multiple people. I'll
okay,
just
then
speak.
I'll just say what I was saying.
Okay.
Maybe Jay was like, okay, you know what? I need Chris for this one vote. I know Chris is not. Who did you vote for, Chris?
Brian. Sorry.
Awesome. So Ryan.
Brian.
Oh,
I'm
Brian.
the only one that calls him Brian. I'm sorry, I voted X.
No worries. So maybe Jay was like, I just need Chris for this vote with an idol and then kick him to the curb. Maybe it was something like that.
It wasn't. I can prove up and down that it wasn't. Messages all day yesterday. Even though I was busy, I was still in their messages. I was annoying the fuck out of everybody. Told X I was voting for him after he lost immunity last night. So
I don't think I need to hear Jay like bring it up, and I don't want to prompt it from him either. So I hope he naturally brings it up in his speech, because if it's his intention, like I think it's a good like social play to use it on Chris, just to be like, hey Chris, there's like, because if anyone like revealed like, hey, Jay voted you that one tribal, or Jay was going to vote, like how Caleb said it, like Final Six or whatever, they could be like, well, I'm the only one to prove my loyalty directly by idling you. Final Four, he gets at least one guaranteed vote, like if the votes come on him. Like, would you have tied it for Jay if Jay was getting 2 of the votes?
me,
Or would you have
yeah, I would have tied it.
See?
Yeah, it's more beneficial
think-
for him to have Chris at a Final Four than it is to have Caleb's. To like build a resume, whatever the fuck that means, because he thinks that the jury wants to see him make big moves. So he did that so that y'all can see him make big moves, even though he didn't need to make it. And then he's here and he's done something.
Yeah, I don't think like amazingly highly of Jay's game, but I don't think that play should be discredited at all. I think that was a good play.
It just
and,
catches
like,
me
he
off
showed
guard
them,
that Jay said
so.
that he had no weaknesses and no controversies in this game.
Did he specifically say both of them? Because if he says he had no
Yes.
okay. Yeah, he has some. Maybe he's caught up in his fantasy.
He should have played up just the Pietro thing, like that, just so he didn't have to have like a blank answer.
What were your questions to X and Kyle? I mean, X and
Same thing.
Do you
What were
have
they?
like their answers that we can actually see?
Oh, yeah. Second.
Also, we've got less than a minute left on this call, so
Yeah, go ahead and start a new one. I'll get the messages ready.
This will be like
Sorry,
the
y'all.
real
I
I'll
do
make
apologize.
I'll make a new Zoom.
Julie, go ahead and send that to me in my PMs.
I'll just make a new Zoom and we'll continue over there.
Yep.
cool.
What'd you say, Bodie, about that answer?
Okay, I'm a really slow reader. Can someone like read it out loud for me?
It'll take a.
All right, I'll read it. So
Yeah.
So from X, he said, "Why hello and thank you for the question. The most controversial thing I did."
Could you do it in
this
an X
game-
voice?
Getting myself in a position where people either trusted me or just worked with me. Then I proceeded to vote them out. I did my best to balance the game and players themselves, but as seen as how people left, I did not do a nice job of respecting everyone. I do stand behind each vote I casted, but I would be dumb to think that people left this game happy with me. I meant, with no A, every word that I said to each player on a personal level and even the game level, whether it be misspelled or not, I just add that.
Wait, can we pause right there? He meant
No,
every
that-
word that he said on a game level? What the fuck does that mean?
I think it means
However-
that. Oh,
It means that he didn't lie?
He lied.
he lied
Yeah.
a lot. Yeah.
He lied.
I bet he said a word that he didn't mean on a game level and a personal level. What did he even say a word that he meant on a personal level? Like, you're
Wait.
funny. He probably said to me, which I believe that he thinks that I'm funny because I'm hilarious.
You're the lettuce comedian.
Hold on, let me finish reading. However, I did figure out when it was time to jump on a new ship and keep myself stable and afloat in this game. It sucked to have picked myself over people I enjoyed playing and talking to, but we all came to play the game and we all did just that. I showed that in every move I either was a part of or pushed for. I feel has hurt my game, not in the round by round portion of the game, but has hurt me in the management section. I can tell people this till the day I stop playing group games.
And it's also worth mentioning, since you were like pointing out all of the spelling mistakes, that he said apart as one word.
Yeah. There was one time he messaged me and I like, hey, you spelled that wrong. And he said like, don't do that. That actually really offends me. So be careful. I don't know if he takes to that well.
Yeah.
But
Jeez.
in
Help
terms of
us.
this speech, him saying that like people left without like liking him or whatever, I honestly feel like there was a good portion of the game where X kind of just gave up on like how people thought of him. And so like cute that like you recognize that it's a problem, but you also had like how much time to fix your social game, and you actively chose to be like, wow, nobody likes me, and like parade on it, but it's like a mistake.
No, definitely.
By show of hands, how many of y'all had negative feelings towards X when you were voted off?
Ooh. I didn't.
A little. It's like a half raise.
But also before I
No,
was
they were
voted
negative.
off,
Yeah.
him voting me off didn't change any of my
understand
feelings
where he's
towards
coming
him.
from with voting me out.
Would you say that X was lacking in the social aspect of the game?
He was proud of it. He would literally
No.
say, oh my god, my bad social game, it's so funny how bad I am socially. And, like,
I think he said that though just to not be a target, because I think he knew what he was doing and he did it pretty well at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Maybe not the beginning, but towards the end, he definitely knew what he was doing. He lied to me.
On a social level?
Totally. I mean, he talked to me.
I
He told
mean,
me
great
like
if you reckon.
we kicked it.
It may not have been that well with you, Bodie, but like as the game progressed, he did.
He got way
improve.
better. Way
In terms
better.
of like connecting?
Me and him
Yeah.
called just about every day.
Yeah.
I
don't
my
have
game
this
was in his
experience, Bodie,
hands,
so I'm with you.
and I let it happen.
I think
Yeah,
it's
I actually made
inexcusable that we were
amends
like
before
close
you voted me out,
allies
so-
for the entire pre-merge and we didn't
No,
have a
see-
single good conversation.
That's my thing with X. Like, whoever was talking first about like how like he could have gotten better socially. Like, I understand his pre-merge and like first two merge votes, kind of where he was, and he had to kind of be stank overall. But like, if he would have like rebounded from that, I would have been like, that's totally excusable. Like, sometimes you're just put into a bad position where like your bad qualities are flaws. Sorry, it's very dark right now.
But he
Like,
wasn't
your
in a
bad
bad
qualities
position in
are-
the pre-merge. He put himself in a bad position when he was in a very good position strategically. He put himself in a bad position socially and kind of put himself like on the bottom, even though like he stayed, which is impressive that he
Yeah.
stayed. Like I'm not going to discredit that, and I definitely think that there is a chance that I vote for X. But if I do, it's not because I like him in any like
Mhm.
on any level.
Okay. Before Billy left, how much did y'all trust X?
Not at
Not at
all.
all.
Not at all.
Okay.
With my
After Billy
life.
left, how was X's fate?
What was his
My-
fate? What do you
My
mean?
fate.
What do
My
y'all
fate was
think
in his
X's fate
hands.
was after Billy left? Like,
The same.
Swing.
I know
swing
you
vote.
have it in that Billy was the only
Second.
person in the world that
no,
wanted
that's
to talk
why.
to
That's
him.
why I asked y'all if like anybody trusted X was willing to give him like secret info.
X put himself as a swing vote since Final 8 on pretty much. Like since
And
the
I
did that.
merge, he put himself in a swing. And even during the merge, he made himself the swing vote.
Yep.
I
There we
agree.
go.
Jake, do you? It might have been Pietro. I don't know. If
No,
I shared
you
that with
did.
But I
You
literally
showed
wrote
me.
how I literally wrote it that X had all the power, and I don't get why we're voting out Nikita.
I trusted
So-
him. I don't know. he made me trust him, which is
So,
amazing on his
if-
part.
if
Because I didn't
One
like him.
move in your favor is what made you trust him versus like three bad moves.
All y'all
It's
have
so-
is how
What bad
powerful
Not
X
calling
is.
you out specifically,
What
but
were
that's
any
the
bad
one
moves
thing
he
X
made?
did well.
Super
No,
strategic.
not bad moves. I mean, like negative moves. Like for me and Pietro personally, or like me and Bodie, like the people he didn't really have great relationships with, he cut Josh, who was a tight ally with him. He had like 10 alliances that day. He struck out Bodie. He took Kyle out and stuff. Like he did like little things, but because he saved Pietro and Jake that one time, he was able to capitalize on that and be like, well, I'm trustworthy now. Forget like all my past like mistakes and sins. And I was like,
It wasn't
This
just
is
him
like-
doing that. It was just like
Yeah.
the things he would say, like the way he had this game mapped out, at least to me. And I hated him when I told him that, but he made me believe that I was good with him until I wasn't. And I think that's pretty good.
I mean, I think at the end of the day, I think physically,
yeah, that's what I
Amazing.
wrote. Don't look at this. This was my
Strategically-
final six plans, but
I mean, your and Jerry
that's
was a
when
matter.
I thought I was there. But like X was right there, and I wrote it, and I was like, if we have Nikita, it's better for me because
I'm sorry.
I can have a thing to that side. But
I was
Like-
the strategic powerhouse. That's what Reddit told me. I was the strategic powerhouse.
for me. But no, like X's game, if there's one thing I can compliment X on, it's he had a very transparent game, and I think he was able to use that to his benefit. He played from the front, and I respect that personally. I don't I don't dislike his personality, but it's not a personality I get along with normally. But like from a game level, I respect that he can play from the front and
Would
keep
you
playing.
say
So.
would you say that X had the best strategic game out of the final three?
I wouldn't.
He had the most
I
visible,
No.
strong,
I
like
do.
direct.
I think he had the
Well, I
strongest, but
think-
not the best.
Yeah.
I
I
think
don't
he
think
was in
anyone really had
control
like a
and like
good strategic game though.
that's true. I think out of the three of them, I think he was the most in control of his own destiny, whereas he made his own shots, where I don't think Pietro and Jay really did.
Do you think,
I will say that.
coming into Merge as a relatively big target because of his pre-Merge actions and going from the bottom into getting in control of his own fate, do you think that favors him in your eyes? Or do you think he had to
Yes.
kind of play a lot dirtier to get there?
I mean,
That too.
he like won immunity final 13, and I was under the impression it was going to be like a 12-1 vote that round. Like at least at the beginning of it, it was like, well, X is safe. Let's just take out Logan. Or some people's mind, let's take out Billy, but get out Logan because that's the one person connected to X. So like he was able to get that, and then it was kind of the rounds of okay, now there's some shifts coming. There's like the Billy Brigade. There's this trio happening. There's this trio happening, and X was always kind of like the distant one. Like he was close to Caleb. He was close to probably someone else that I can't think of
Billy.
right now. But like he never really Billy. He never really had like a open like alliance because he made so many alliances. It's almost like he would cause like what's the word, like rubbish, like
Rabble.
destruction.
Ruckus,
Yeah,
baby.
rabble.
It's ruckus.
Rockets.
Yeah, Rocket. Thank you
Raves.
so much. Like I'm just any R word. A lot of them work in like a
Rhinoceros?
mess way.
Rutabaga.
Rhinoceros. Okay, we're done with this. He would cause
Romp.
it. So, because if he's the one causing the destruction, he knows the path, like kind of thing. So he would like make 10 alliances here. Blah 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 blah, and everyone would be like aware of it, and so he could navigate because everyone else would be like, well, we don't know where the fuck any of this is going. Like X is going to self-destruct, and then it was always like, well, no, here's the double tribal. Let's take out Billy and Kyle. Oh, Josh is a threat. Oh, Nick, Chris, Caleb, everyone. Like,
Would you?
I'm
would
bad
you,
at ending statements, so.
And this is a question for anyone. Did X make any like very big mistakes in the jury phase, like things that in retrospect he absolutely shouldn't have done?
I mean, like not having relationships
That.
with people that he didn't have relationships with is a pretty obvious one.
I feel like his game definitely was not perfect, but I feel like there's always like a method to his madness.
He knew what he was doing.
Like whatever mistake he makes, like he always turns it into a positive and like uses that to his advantage.
Yep.
Like what?
I don't know. Just being a big name in general, going into Merge and then winning that immunity, and then like
But the thing is, he
like 11
didn't
of us
need to
targeting
be a
Logan
big
when
name
I
in
flew
that
over with
sense
Billy.
going into the merge.
What?
He did that to himself.
Like,
Yeah.
we all wanted him out at the beginning, and now he's
And
at final
I
three.
don't know how
No, I
much
don't
credit we
either.
should put on him and how much blame we
I
should put on
will
y'all.
say this. I do think out of the finalists, I mean, I know I've never mentioned this before, but I do feel like a number of the people in this phase were more than quiet. And I feel like out of the three lies the best. The fact that he could crack open cold Jake and get him to be like, I trust you.
Cold Jay.
And the fact that
And he did. And
the
he
fact that
did.
he got up to talk about more than TV shows and be like, I trust you. Like, jealous. Full on jealous. So I do give him credit for that. He used the atmosphere of quietness the most. I do.
And you can
think.
try to be shady against him. This is just from personal experience. You can try to be shady against him, but he can tell. I swear to God, he can tell. It's like there's like some psychic energy behind him. Like
I don't.
No, it's his
Psychotic,
paranoia.
baby. Psychotic.
I'll say I don't
There's
think he
psychic
trusts anyone
energy.
necessarily. Like
I mean-
when you play with X, you want to like keep him at bay. At least I did. So I would like just tell someone something like that, and they wouldn't even like leak it to him. But he'd be like, you're giving me bad vibes. And then like if you're called out, like what are you gonna do? Like play it off? Like it's a decent way if he does it intentionally, just to be like, my paranoia is saying you're doing this. Say it. Like
The fact that he like attacks people in PMs is like, in my opinion, kind of disqualifying from winning. But I might vote for him regardless.
oh, he was quite aggressive.
He fucking sucks. Like,
Didn't I warn you, Bodie?
yeah, you did. Yeah, he is a psychopath. Like, I won't go that far. I'll say that.
Oh no,
You
he's
know,
a psychopath.
from a player's perspective, where last season I was probably the quietest person, because I put people that were aggressive in front of me. If he was that aggressive, doesn't that make it more impressive that he still was able to get past? Or is it just
no, aggressive on a personal level? Like, I can't believe you fucking did this to me kind of stuff. Like, not like making big moves, but like aggressive in like the oh my god, I'm gonna get into my car and drive away. Like, this is not what I want to be getting into.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, take my lunch money, please.
I mean, is there anything anyone else wants to?
I did want to say there's a difference between psychic vibes and saying pre-merge to everybody you don't want to be on the same tribe as X, and then all of a sudden X gets the inkling that you're going for him. That's not really a psychic thing.
No, that's
kinda
not.
you.
I wasn't referring to this game. I was referring to past
Well,
games.
unfortunately we're not playing in Survivor 2 Timbuktu. This is Survivor Past and Present. So
Yeah, it's past and present, Nikita.
yes, and looking forward to a bright future.
But yeah, you're right. Touche.
She ended you.
I mean,
I cannot be the villain of the jury. I can't.
Well,
I mean, you.
if no one has anything left to say about.
Oh, I do.
Okay, go ahead.
So, it's very possible my vision of X is skewed. It's no secret I was the closest person to him, so I obviously got a whole different side to X.
Yeah.
But that aside, I do think out of the three, he played the best game. I do believe he went from a position of being on the bottom, and he set himself up to constantly being the swing vote. His name really didn't come up too much out. He was always in a position to where people needed his vote. He was always needed. People wanted him for their plans, and he did that on purpose. I don't think he fell into that on accident. He strategically set himself up in that way, and I do think that's a really, really big thing for him. That's more than Pietro and Jay can say.
Question.
Nikki,
I'll press my lower hand
It'll be more
button
entertaining. Okay. Caleb, can I just ask like a general question just so you could help me? Were you and X like mutual number ones, or did he trust you? Like, was it a mutual thing? Like with Pietro and I, we were mutual number ones, maybe number twos. I don't know yet with Jake, but like I knew we weren't going to write each other's names down. Was that like the same with you and X for most of the game?
No. I would have written X's name down at one point. For your vote, I was going to. I really was going to write his name down. I wanted to write your name down more, but I would have written his name down if it had come to it. I don't know if he was ever going to write my name down. He never did. So
Anastasia,
that's all I wanted to know.
Do you think he would have brought you?
I'm sorry. The minute I heard Caleb say I would write X's name down, I did. My head did turn. It did.
You were literally part of the plan. I said, Chris, we're either writing down X or Nick's name this round.
And y'all,
I don't know if you believed me or not.
Makes no sense.
Y'all had the votes to do X2.
No, Caleb, it was hard. What'd you say?
They had the votes.
That y'all could have still voted X at final six. Wait, did y'all say you wanted to vote? Oh, never mind. I'm confused. I'll shut up.
Do I think X would have taken me to the final three? It's very possible. I also had heard from multiple people that he wanted me out for fourth.
Hello.
That could have been the case too.
Why
Don't
do
know
you
if
think
it was
it's
true
possible?
or not.
That's what he told me. I don't know.
That's
So
what he told me.
It's what I heard, and it's possible.
I've got a question too for you, Caleb, since you're coming out of the closet.
The
X's greatest ally.
whisper.
This is not coming out of a place of like, real. I am genuinely asking because I want to know. how at the beginning of merge, like whatever, at the beginning of the merge, how much of the work do you feel was X's doing, and how much do you feel was your doing? Since perhaps X, you were better connected than X was. So was it X like getting in your head and puppeteering, or were you like, come into my cottage, you're homeless, and then you did it and he took it from there?
No, I'm definitely very one cocky and two very proud of the game that I played. I do think a lot of it was me. That was before the unmerge. I think the unmerge after that, I still think that
Was him.
yeah. And not necessarily him controlling everything, but he set himself up to where he was never getting targeted.
Gotcha.
He made it so he was needed. I mean, I never really wanted to target him anyways at Final 7. I thought about it, but he made it to where the other side didn't want to either, to where everyone needed him to stay in because they needed his vote.
Work.
So
I'll
move
send
on.
the results
Ready
to
to
the
move
government.
on now?
Sorry.
Let's move on.
Pietro.
All right, Pietro. So, I won't lie, as a viewer, I didn't really get to see too much of Pietro's game, so I would like just to ask what's your guys' general feel of the game that he played, and whether or not you view that he is deserving.
Slippery.
If I could go first on this,
I don't want to go first.
if I could
I
go,
want to hear.
Same.
I understand when we all made Final 6, there was literally like 3 duos full of 2 people. It was very hard. I know that y'all feel the same way about Jay, how Jay was like behind me doing this. I can't really see what Pietro did behind Jay. Hard. Just like Pietro told me Final 4 that he wanted me gone since Final 8. So like that's bold of him.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't see anything that he did by his own without Jake being there.
I mean,
I
it's not a
think
game
there
where you
was
can do
anything.
things on your own.
Like,
I mean, I think the first kind of inkling for me that Pietro was a little bit more than the average Joe was the round where there was the plan to vote for Jake over Bodhi, and then hearing that Pietro like changed his mind like last minute kind of was like, oh sheesh, like what is he up to? And I feel like from then he had a very chaotic experience from my eyes. Of course I wasn't there much longer, but it did kind of feel like Pietro was very slippery. Like he was close with Jake, he was close with Nick, and I feel like anyone like that's not blind could see that. But I feel like approaching him with like a plan would always just resound in like, I just don't know the votes. Oh gee, my goodness. And on one hand, that could be because he's holding his cards to his chest and he's waiting. Or on the other, he genuinely just didn't know. So I don't know which one of those two it was.
Pietro wanted to change his game from the first time he played. Like, he played, like, not aggressive, but he just wanted to, like, fix that. And that's why he was always kind of apprehensive. He didn't want to make the same mistakes as he did last time because he, like, played with Jay or whatever, like, idled Jay out, did all this stuff, and then got cut, like, right before merge.
Wonderful. But Jay and
I only came in at the end. That's why I answered that. I only came at the end, and I heard that part.
No worries. No, it's relevant. Wonderful. But also, I feel like if anything could be said about Jay or X, I feel like they made their decisions with more confidence than Pietro did. And that's why I feel like at the finale, I'm going to have to ask if, like, I want a question that draws out confidence from him. Like, that's what I need. I need him to show that he's not a shaky little leaf on the birch tree. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Am I the only one who? I was there for like 2 minutes. Does anyone?
You're accurate. You're accurate.
Was he more decisive as the game went on, or was he consistently like
someone who is still like in the game from, I didn't talk to Pietro in an actual phone conversation until top 5. So But I can say he was very decisive in wanting me gone. I
No,
remember accepting it.
he and I wanted you gone at final. It was you or X, whichever vote we could get on, and then it was Nikita. So we were like, well, this is gonna fuck us over if we try it. So
Sorry, sweetie, you tried though, which is a gift, by the way.
So
Does anyone
for Nikita or really anyone that saw this slippery gameplay, would you say that Pietro employed more of like a anyone but me
No,
strategy?
no, I'm not gonna let you. Let me tell you.
That was more
Let's
Jay than anything.
Yeah, let me
In
tell
anyone but me scenario, that was more Jay than anything.
if you, at least from Nikita's experience, if you mentioned Nick, Jake, Caleb, X, the answer was all of a sudden I'm logging off and I can't read what you're saying. He was not doing anyone but me. He had a very clear, feeling and relationship with other people.
Yeah.
But honestly, to me, out of the top three, I do feel like there were a lot of front runners in this competition, and Pietro is the last front runner in the building, which makes me think like, oh geez, he won the bloodbath.
I'm confused as to, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm just confused as to how he's a front runner.
I feel like, okay, I had like two barrels, right? I felt like myself was kind of like not a front runner. I felt like Nick was not openly a front runner.
Damn.
I felt like X. No, that's not a bad thing.
No,
Well, let me
know.
Billy, Pietro. I was like, for sure.
Keep listing them off.
One of those
these are
things
like-
is not like the other.
Oh wait,
it's Caleb.
It's me. I'm not in that one.
Well, and when I was like assessing the competition, I was like, those 5 people are like top 5 down. Like they've got connections, they're smart, they know how to strategize, they got it going on, they're completely banging.
Y'all stop talking shit about me.
Me? No, you've got it going on. Look at you. Look at you. But
I think that was probably a bad read. I think that Pietro is by far not a front runner.
I mean, to me, the fact that he could flip and like people were like, great job, love you. And people would like go back to him.
Who said that?
Believe me, when I remember looking at the jury and there were people that were like, oh, Pietro's just so great. He may have lied to me and flipped all these times, but he's so great. And I feel like he's the one person that
once.
I do.
I thought he flipped on the vote and then stuck with that.
Hold on. Can I say something before? So as for the most controversial thing, he said that.
I'll read it to you. Let's team.
Because I went from a bad position.
Controversial.
I was turning on Bodhi at Final 12 and throwing him
Yeah.
under the bus to Kyle, Caleb, and Billy, even though he had my back. So it looks like Bodhi's his answer.
Yeah.
But like,
And that was the one time he like took matters like into his like the vote didn't matter at the end because Chris and Jay and Josh didn't vote with us. But like if that was the case, he basically cut voting.
Mind you, Nicholas, going into tribal, we were voting for you, but
were you actually?
We were.
Just so
yeah,
okay,
we were. I just wanted to verify.
Which
we
going
were
into which?
We were going to vote for you, but I told Bodhi in the breakout room briefly because I didn't really have much to say, but
okay.
I was the one that kept pestering to vote Bodhi.
It was me who ran to Jay and Josh. I was like, yeah, the vote's gonna tie if we don't do anything about it. And
Okay. See, I was under the impression that Josh kind of thought it. Jay was like, whichever vote it is, just like I'm good with it, which is fine. And then you kind of weren't for it. Not saying that's a bad thing, obviously, but like you kind of like had like the ulterior motive. That was my perception
we
of
were.
it.
Yeah, all 3 of us were all for it.
Okay.
And it was just
That's
like
good clarification.
Like
Thank you.
right before the votes were about to like get whatever. I was like, yay! So the vote's gonna tie if we don't do anything, and like at that point, like I didn't see the vote needing to tie. So
well, does anyone else have anything major to say about Pietro?
Yeah. I think it's worth pointing out that his social game was by far the best of these 3.
Yeah.
One thing I will say about his social game is that like he made whoever he was talking to like feel like we were his number one no matter what. Like
We
me and
still
Nick
don't know
still to this
who's
day
his number one.
don't know.
Yeah.
We both like
I
we're,
think that's
we both
that's exclusive to you
Yeah.
two.
Well, that's
I
why
don't
we
think
said
the rest
Jake
of us
and
You got
cover
mad?
well.
That's
I'm
why we
not
said
mad.
Jake and
Mad? Who's mad?
I'm not mad. I'm just saying that, like, to say that Pietro made everyone feel like his number one, I think that's
It
exclusive.
made
to
me
Justin.
feel like his number 2, though, which is pretty
He was,
impressive considering that he did turn me into
Oh,
a
and
number
that's
2.
what I mean by like
he was really
flipping.
That was a poop joke.
He
You're
said that
correct.
he said that you and him were really close when he voted you out, and that he really did not
Yeah,
want
I
Yeah,
don't
I
to.
was
get
under
why
the
he did
impression it
it.
was me, Bodie, and Pietro to the end.
The
Or like
other
me, Bodie,
option
Yeah,
was-
Pietro, and
I
Nikita
think I
to
would have
the
been
end.
cut at 4 in that scenario because there's no way I'm winning any challenge ever. But
So if
I'm
Pietro
Maybe it
had-
would have to happen.
if Pietro had, I believe it was Bodie that said this, the best social game, was there any part of this game, whether it be physical or strategic, that he was lacking in? Or was he
I
more
think it was his
out-
confidence in strategic. I don't think he had a bad strategic game. I don't think he had like a stellar strategic game.
Sorry, mine's a quick question, but like, how many challenges did the three of them win?
Pietro won 2,
Okay.
X won 1, J
Yeah,
won
X
1,
one two.
X1, 2.
X won 2, J won 1, I think.
Okay.
it's also worth noting that Pietro contributed in a meaningful way to his Tribes music video when X didn't even know the song that we were singing. I didn't make an effort to
I
learn it.
forgot
This-
about that.
This may be a surprise, but unfortunately, I will not be deciding my winner based on the effort in the music video challenge.
Okay, well,
because-
you're off the jury.
The rightful winner won that challenge.
Bullshit.
Chris, get
Shout
out.
out to you. Who got
I'm not
eliminated?
getting out, honey.
No, but like I
I'm
was happy that we
sorry.
lost that challenge, just to be
Oh.
very clear.
Same.
Who got eliminated?
100%.
Was it
Josh.
Josh?
Josh.
Poor guy.
So, okay,
And
so
you
I
did
think,
Josh me, so I didn't care.
PTSD.
I think one quick little thing for all three of them as a whole.
Wait, I have a question about all 3 of them. If this is like a closing thing, can we do my
Yeah,
thing
go
first? Yeah. So who was helped the most by the weird round where Billy and Kyle got screwed?
I think X and J both like had a really good week that week because
Yeah.
J got to vote out Billy and X managed to get Kyle out. Like they
Mhm.
both kind of had a great time there.
Yeah, Pietro was just out of self-defense.
Yeah, it turned
mean,
Pietro into, because that round it went from there being the trio kind of quartet of Caleb, X, Billy, Kyle, Chris and Jared duo, and then Jake, myself, Pietro. After that round, there's the duo, the trio, and then X and Caleb, but no one was necessarily completely aware of how close they were. So Pietro went from being in like a middle position to being like in the 3 or whatever. Like you would either have to target one of the duos or target the trio, and targeting the trio would make the most sense.
Yeah, and at that time, that's why I wanted to vote Pietro, because like he was more willing to flip to you, I thought.
Guys,
Oh yeah, I was
we
never
already-
voting him. That was off the table.
Yeah.
I just think, I really, in my fantasy, was like, stunning. The 2 duos are going to combine and make a top 4 Megazoid Transformer. And wait, Kyle went home? What? I was completely flown off the table.
Yeah, I thought X was leaving, like on that tribe call, like afterwards. I was like, I feel like X leaving's the smartest, like X or Kyle.
Ciao.
I mean, for me, I thought it was Pietro being the smartest, but I mean, I was wrong. But
Well, in All Stars,
Oh,
make it
yeah.
So for some
He has
reason,
no idea what
another
the song
question-
is.
Can I
For some
ask-
reason, another
add
question
one
just
thing?
popped in my mind about Pietro, because a lot of you said that Pietro was very good at making you guys feel comfortable about.
Well, that's
either being
debatable
number
now
one
for
or
some people.
number
I
two,
never said that.
number two.
Comfortable is the wrong
So-
word.
well, so-
Quick anecdote, Jake or Nick, that needs to be one of your guys' questions. Like, you need to be like, who is your final 2? Was it me or was it him? And
Me or her.
I don't think
That's
there was
what
an
we wanna
answer. I
know.
really don't.
Yeah, he probably never had a pick because he always assumed it'd be a final 3.
Probably.
Mhm.
And I
Oh,
feel
I-
like
Did
it's a,
anyone feel hurt by Pietro when they
I
went
did,
out?
but I don't anymore.
oh, let bit, yeah.
I have no say in mine because I voted him.
You should feel bad.
Nah, I don't.
Pietro never got in the position where like someone who was voting out would be
That's
pissed
not
at
true.
him. Like he would be
It's just
well besides you.
Wait, who's you?
patently false.
Who's you?
That I think that was a pivotal move for him though, because I feel like
Yeah.
he was grouped into a foursome that made a mistake voting Billy. And I think him doing that kind of showed that he wasn't.
Actually,
with
let me touch your hand like Oprah Winfrey on the couch.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, that vote, Billy lost immunity, and he knew his ship was done, honey. There was no other vote that day.
But like,
No.
wait, did you mean the 4 people that voted Billy in top 10, or when Logan?
When
I meant
Logan
finals.
left.
Finals.
Yeah.
Yeah, when Logan left.
Let me hold your hand.
And Logan. Okay.
That was Pietro's idea. And
Jay.
he told me that like, hey, if Billy has an idol, if Billy plays it on X, if Billy, X, and Logan were a group, according to Pietro, and he was like, hey, so like to block the vote, we just need 4 votes. We'll put it on Billy. No one will care. Little did I know which he legitimately wanted Billy gone.
Yeah.
And so the 4
We
of us
wanted Billy gone. We talked to like Caleb and Jake as well. We were trying to get
Right,
6
I was
votes
not
on
doing
and hopefully more.
Yeah, why the fuck
I know
did
you
you guys
are.
do that? That's why I left. You.
But what I'm
You actually
saying,
gave Billy that skull charm, right?
yeah, who gave it to Billy?
Yeah.
I gave Billy the skull charm. I
Okay.
gave Billy the skull charm the day after Nathan left, or maybe the day
Who
before.
gave Jay the skull charm to give to Chris to give to me?
It was me.
I
It
knew
was me. I found it. Listen, and there's a live confessional because I find it, and it's like at the end of my recording. I literally almost left. Not the
You
game.
found hella
maybe
I
just
thought
the
there were
advantage.
no
Oh my God.
advantages in this game.
Yeah, I had no
sorry.
luck, even with my little 100-piece board.
Oh, little do you know. I mean, I wish I found nothing. I found a skull charm, which I couldn't keep, and I won the ability to sit out of a challenge. I was
Yeah, that
so
one was stupid as
mad.
fuck.
I'm glad Julian's not here, because Julian still says, like, Tim says his vote steal was useless. A vote steal is different from sitting out of a challenge. Okay, I'm gonna go take a break. I'll be back.
Are we ready to move on to kind of
No,
like the?
I have something to ask, and I forget what it was. So
Okay.
can we just keep talking about Pietro for a bit?
Actually,
Can I like
break,
say something?
break over, because I remember what I was gonna say.
Okay, Nikita, you can go first.
Pietro, thank you. Sorry. But to answer to Jake, Pietro was not air quote grouped against his will in that 4. He created that 4. He came up with the plan. He put himself in that position. So kudos to him or whatever to like making it seem like he didn't.
No, he did.
Yeah,
He did.
He really made that plan happen. Like, we made it on call together as I think just the 2 of us, and then he told you, Nikita. But he came up with the name Billy. I came up with the split, I think is what happened. I'm not 100% sure. But then he went behind my back to make it a different vote, and then he went behind my back in a different direction. So now I've got 2 backs.
Right.
And yeah, it was just like really impressive how he was able to make a split vote, then try to turn it into a different plan, have that not work, then not take some of the blame for it, direct all the blame onto somebody else, and then move forward with the people who are angry about that thing.
I don't know if
I just think
impressive
that's
is the word.
messy. Yeah,
But-
that just
Oh
sounds
yeah, it's messy. It's fuck. but
I
he
don't
made it
think
work.
I don't think he did that though. He owned that he wanted Billy out, and he wasn't really the reason you went. He wasn't like he didn't blame you. It just happened.
Well,
other things.
would I have left if Pietro didn't like leak that I had been doing it?
It's the same.
Yeah, probably.
Most
if I was,
likely.
yeah.
And I mean,
I think because I was still worried about you anyways regardless
all
of
I
that.
needed to say from that is that
It was
Pietro
just justification for you to go,
Yeah.
Bodhi, I think. It was just an extra justification.
It's so weird to me that
Well,
I left. Like,
I'll-
I don't know,
Oh,
it's
it's
just
weird
like-
to me.
Pietro
It's
to
weird
get
to me,
you
too.
out.
What?
I think people use Pietro to get you out. I
Yeah.
think they were like, Pietro, like, you're in deep shit. Like, everyone's after you.
That was me.
But we're going to throw out Bodhi's name instead. Why don't you come and
But
join
people
us?
were
That's
after
Rio
Pietro,
Chad,
though.
Jake, Pietro, and me.
Can you guys make that make sense for me. Like, how did that happen? Why did Billy let you? Like, how did Billy
Billy
get you
didn't
to
give
do
me
that?
I want Bodhi out.
That sounds
I think a lot of
crazy
people
for you,
just wanted
Kyle.
you out.
I know,
I
that's
did.
crazy.
Didn't
Love
make
you,
sense to me either.
Well, all Nikita meant to say by bringing it up was that Pietro was not a pure innocent bystander being in that group before. That's all I wanted to say.
I don't
Yeah.
think he did the 4 dirty
It just so
vote.
happened that Billy won Bodhi at the same time as me.
He voted half of that 4 out.
And
But
look at
his
him
vote-
now. And look at him now.
Right, but like all I'm saying is that he's not
His
an
vote wouldn't
innocent
have changed it though, because what it was there was only 3 people who voted the minority, the Bodhi vote, and Nikita was leaving anyways. I mean, you were Nikita. I forgot. I was thinking you were leaving
We
anyways.
love talking in the third person. Yes.
Third personanica right now.
Sure. But like I'm just saying, he was not helplessly grouped into that 4.
No, I agree to that.
I agree.
I think he made a messy move, it backfired, and people capitalized on it.
That's what X's entire game was. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't actually know. I wasn't even in the game, but
Let's
No,
ask the
that's what
interview.
X's
Let's
game won.
ask the official question though. Did Pietro spin his own straw into gold, or was it somebody else Rumpelstiltskinning it up for him? What was it?
I don't
No, I
think
wanna hear-
the
I
thing
wanna
about
hear
him is I don't like I love the kid. I'm not going to say anything bad about him, but one negative thing I have to say is that he wanted moves that he couldn't get to happen. I was stubborn. I didn't want to get Chris out final 8. Like, you know what I mean? Like the only issue I have with him is moves he wanted to happen that could have bettered his game tremendously. He couldn't get to happen, but he made it work with it still. And here he is.
Yeah. Wow. Jake not responding to ideas. Never could have seen that.
But that's not fair though, because like I don't know, everyone wanted.
also the way
Yeah,
that
no one was
Pietro
gonna talk
nobody
framed
was.
the putting the 4 votes on Billy was so fucking cool. Like the way that he did it, he was like, so we get the votes on Billy just in case he tattles, then he goes home as a punishment. It was so fucking like, oh my god. Like,
Because
wow.
I thought Billy was going to use the Skull Charmer and Logan. Like
Yeah.
Pietro and I were both like completely like in that fantasy narrative. We were like, it's definitely happening. We were like looking at Billy during that tribal.
No,
We were
Billy.
like, it's happening. We're going to get 4 votes.
Billy
to send
said
Billy
he
home.
wasn't. I mean, who knows how much of a truth teller he is? He's not here. But that week he did tell me he's not going to use the skull charm at all. So wait, how did you know he had it? Wait.
We were under the impression. Nikki, you say you confirmed it. That next one, I agree, you confirmed it. I swear you told me before that Billy had it, and if it wasn't, it was just Pietro and I's intuition, whatever you want to call it, just like spinning the wheel and saying, "Oh, Billy has it." I was sure that Billy had it. You confirmed it for me.
I just remember Pietro being like, "I think Billy has an idol," and I was like, "Billy told me he promised me he was the only person he told. He didn't promise, but he said I was the only person he told." And here he is telling Pietro.
Yeah, I had no
But-
clue who else. He didn't tell me. I didn't know who Billy told.
Oh, I feel. Oh, what a sweet guy.
For Nikita.
Oh no, I don't regret voting him out, nor do I regret, saying he had it because he was being a jerk. But he's a good kid.
How many tribals was Pietro voted for or in contention to be voted for? I was
In
going to write
contention?
it down. Like not
Oh my
just like a
God,
mere
Bodhi.
name thrown out, but like a lot of people, because he was the quote unquote counter plan round 1. Obviously, we're all voting John, but John was trying his ass off to get Pietro or someone out.
Well,
trying to think.
It's a unanimous vote. Does it really count as a counter plan?
I'm just going through all of them. I'm bad at
child,
memory.
that's a question. for
12.
you.
I think
We
you
can talk about it.
12 and 8.
12 and 8.
12 and 8.
Did he end up
From my
receiving
knowledge.
votes? Those? Well, he received the 1 vote from Chris at
He
8,
rec-
but none at
he re-
12.
Thank you.
He
for
received a vote at 8.
By the way, Chris, that really I couldn't believe you're a doll. Oh,
For
I just
what? You telling me you voted me and my dumb ass didn't still.
sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That was not my fault at this moment.
You know what? Listen, I at that point, if Nick voted me out, I was like, yeah, car out of gas.
Kita, that round.
Well,
that
no,
round hurt more than my round, honestly.
don't say it. I was the strategic mastermind. Everyone was puppeteering to my plan, and they
definitely.
recognized my greatness. Yes, it was me.
Was ready.
Jake, don't look at me like that. Look at the corner. That's what happened. Anyways, Kevin, you were saying something.
Yes, please
Sorry.
consider mine.
Kevin wants
I mean,
to wrap this up.
I guess I'm gonna ask.
Same here. I want to go to bed.
Yeah, let's all talk
Okay.
over Kevin.
So we're gonna move on to just.
Wait, so about the Pietro.
Kyle, it's not funny.
We're gonna move on to a quick little wrap up of the 3 core elements of Survivor. I'll play out what I last.
Ooh.
Just if you want to go into more detail, feel free. But if people
Please
want to go to bed, you can keep it quick. So outplay. Which one of the 3 outplayed the best?
Explain outplay.
Nobody knows what any of these 3 mean. They're just 3 catchy words that Mark Burnett came up with in 1999.
Okay, I mean, I think for me, outplay is more of the physical part of the game.
Outplay.
Pietro and X by default, then, because they want
Pietro and
similar
X.
immunities.
Okay. And the next, outwit, which I would say is the strategic part of the game.
I think X played it the hardest.
That's the
I
thing. Like,
think he played it the best too.
Yeah.
I don't think that we can say that any of them played it the best because they all got to the end.
But it's also hard.
It's up
because
to us to determine which one played the best at this point.
I think some people put themselves in a better position to get there, while some people relied on others.
I
Not
think
saying
that if
any of them did
any
it
one
perfectly.
person did put themselves in the best position to get to the end, it was Jay. And I don't know if I want to reward like how Jay did that, which was by not doing that much.
In terms of
I don't think it's fair. I don't mean to cut you off, Nikita, but
it's fine. It's fine.
I'm sorry. I am gonna vouch for Jay here when I've known Jay this game since day one. I don't think it's fair to not really for Jay in the end. Y'all fuck y'all want to, but I'm just saying Jay's gameplay is a lot better than what you think it is. Granted, y'all might think he hid behind me. Jay had to do what he had to do, so did Pietro, so did X.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, don't count Jay out.
Yeah, no, I'm not definitely the person that I'm second most likely to vote for.
I wasn't
respect where it was.
doing that and like in particular to like, yo, you do this, but like I'm just like just don't count out Jay.
Well, to answer the prompt, I feel like in the short, all 3 of them have strong seams in their strategy and a little bit of holes. And they're very different holes to fill. And when there are so many different holes to fill, like which hole is the best one? You know what I mean? So I don't think we know right now who has the best hole, you know?
Okay, that's an interesting answer. So I guess I'll move on. Now this one, just based on the roundtable so far, I think I already know the answer.
It's you.
Thank you. Who of the 3 played the best social game?
Pietro.
Pietro.
And I think Jay's social game can't be completely discredited. I think that he didn't do a great job in terms of actually talking to people. But after being voted out, Jay was the person that I would have been the least unhappy to see win. And at this point, like, I think I would still be like, I think I've switched to the point where I would be most happy for Pietro if he won, but I think I'd be very happy for Jay as a person if he were to win this game.
No, I think Jay played like a
You
solid
can't bash
game.
Jay's social game if he didn't talk to you. So
Yeah, exactly. Jay and I had maybe 2 conversations, and I like him more than the other 2.
I know you did not just say that. I just can't believe that came out of your labosa. I
don't think Carl meant it as a big negative, though.
No, I'm just saying.
Because I understood what he was saying.
I'm saying that there's a warm number of people in here I do not want to hear say, oh, you didn't talk to people enough, because some of y'all were brick wall.
That's me, personally.
But there's strategy for some, and there's this like other obligations. But for most of us, though, not talking to you, Nikita, was strategy because we didn't trust you.
Yeah,
it wasn't because we were busy and just didn't want to. We couldn't because our own games.
That's the thing,
wonderful.
Nikita. I think
we
I was one of
gotta-
the only
we
people
gotta
that
let that
actually
go.
wanted you in the game.
Nikita,
gotta
I
let that
love
go.
you. Ninja, I love you. I love you so much. I've known you.
Don't do it.
But every other message, we're like, well, sweetie, I just want this person gone, and I got the votes for this one, XD. Like, what,
All
baby, baby, how could we work with that?
We
And I'm
couldn't. No one could.
saying
I
it's
am not
everybody.
going to grace that with the response right now because it's not about me. I hate when we talk about me. I'm
sure
just
you do,
saying.
baby.
I'm just saying certain people should not say other people didn't talk enough. It was probably mutual energy. That's what I mean.
So my last question is: raise your hand if you are 95% sure you already know who you're voting for.
95 is a pretty high
We
number.
love all the duos.
I mean, I know, I'm not gonna lie, like, I probably will be voting for Pietro, but I'm not gonna just be like, Pietro, tell me your entire game. I want to give, like, X and, and Jay a fair shot, at least. I'll ask them genuine questions for others to decide.
Wait,
but
so-
I'm pretty made up.
Kyle, did you already vote?
Oh no, not yet.
But you're
I
not
only
going
did
to
a
be there at
roundtable before I
the.
voted.
You're not going to be at the reunion.
I'm not going to be at Final Travel now.
He's
So how are you
Sophie,
gonna
he's
vote?
sick. He's not gonna be here.
Well, no,
Oh.
I'm going to be at work.
It is interesting though how like all the duos raise their hands because they want to like be locked for like their ride or die. So it's really going to come down to everyone else who's probably going to.
Oh, I know my ride or die probably ain't gonna win. I just want to. So like.
No 0 vote finalists this season, baby.
That's true.
Was
But it is
96
interesting.
B?
Well, overall,
Yeah,
I'm glad to get off this baboons in the trees. I'm ready to go.
Baboons.
Well, thank you guys for. I'm sorry if I was a little shaky. I didn't know what I was getting into. Julian just
Not
said,
the
"Join
baboons.
this."
Thank you.
You did good. Thanks,
Thank you.
Kevin.
You did amazing.
Kevin.
You know, if y'all are upset that you didn't make it there, show up on All Stars and
All of us.
For first period.
Kevin,
You know what I
can't
mean?
play with-
do you want to have a
can't-
pregame alliance and all
I
stars?
can't play with
I
y'all.
hope
I
that-
can't play with y'all bitches again. I love y'all.
No, I hope that what
Chris,
happens.
I did
with
nothing
All
wrong to
Stars-
you.
I'm ready for
Somebody-
rivals.
Rivals.
Well, you know,
I'm ready. Oh, Nick, I'm ready for rivals too.
God, I can't wait for the reunion when X and I finally have our fight that he predicted the first night that he talked to me, and he was like, "You look like somebody I'd fight with."
Let me tell
I'm
you.
not.
Like,
I'm not coming to the reunion. Y'all know y'all can talk. I ain't coming to the
And
reunion.
Jake doesn't want that $10,000 extra. It's
I mean, I'm going to be at the reunion because there are still some preachers. I feel like Arthur is such a fun guy. I want
I know, I
to
miss
I
Brian.
wanted to talk to
No.
Jesse.
I want to
We
meet
don't.
Jesse. I want to
I'm
see
gonna
the
unblock
workout
him right now.
video.
I want to see Jesse.
maybe
Jesse.
You know he's going to
Okay.
be watching this too. Everybody say, "Hey, Jesse! Hey, Jesse!"
Oh my God, I
love
can't wait to
it.
meet him.
Bye. Stop the recording. Bye.
But
Okay.
okay, well, on Final Travel, the three will be able to plead their case, but it sounds like a lot of y'all are already convinced. But it also sounds like it's going to be a pretty close tribal.
It is.
I
That's
think we're
okay.
seeing a 0 vote finalist, which is a breath of fresh air after last year, 8-1-0.
Jesus.
Come on, humble brag.
Z.
But all right, well,
The Robert one.
well,
Oh,
thank y'all for joining me in this long thing, and
Thank you for having
it was
us.
a fun season to watch.
It was
and
Jake's idea, so.
Good job, everyone.
Fun question. You can stop the recording. It's not important. But